We are back for another red couch conversation. What are you doing?
Introducing myself in the video.
This is what happens when you let all this fan favorite notoriety go to your head. You're coming late to sessions now.
Not. It's my creative feminine energy.
She's late for all the recordings. She's
late for the recording.
She's driving in Lamborghinis now.
Oh jeez.
People change when they get a little bit of fame.
Especially me. So good morning, everyone.
Yes.
It's good to be back.
I am Melissa.
And my name is Gregory.
And we are
Rise Conscious Fitness.
There we go.
What do we do?
We are awesome.
I agree.
That's what we do. We help you become awesome.
Yes, and get the most out of life. Okay?
Yes.
And all of this while moving better through life, exercise, workouts, training, all of that good stuff. Thank you. No, I don't need it. Nutrition and mindset.
The whole shebang.
Yeah, that's why we call it conscious, because it's really a process of inner work that helps the outside work, right?
You really have to become aware.
Yeah. Starts with awareness. All right, so welcome if this is the first time watching. If you don't know who we are, we tend to be a little silly, but we also are also serious sometimes. We have good content, watch our videos. This is our Red Couch Conversations, and generally we come here about once a week, and we'll just have different conversations around different topics.
Every Friday around
9-ish.
9-ish.
Eastern time.
9:30 Eastern Standard. Jamaican.
Yeah. Now we switch slides, and I'm a little out of balance. It's okay.
Yes.
I'll get used to it. So, welcome if you're watching live. If you're watching it after, feel free to comment, because we love to respond to you guys if you have any questions, comments, or anything. But today's topic, we're going to talk about another myth that goes around in the health and fitness industry, and it is about lifting heavy weights.
This myth was actually, it started in 1924.
Really?
Yeah. So it's been around a long time.
Yeah. So lifting heavy weights makes you bulky. Especially
if you are a woman.
Yeah. So, and the reason why we talk about this is because we've been working with a whole lot of women, especially in a women's program, the Just For Her program, and we meet a lot of women that have been very intimidated by the gym, not just for a lot of different reasons, but also including lifting heavy can make you bulky, or also. You can hurt yourself.
You'll look like a man.
Yeah, you look like a man. You start lifting super heavy weights.
A man.
And I know some of you might be thinking, I know it's not true and all this, but you don't quite understand it, or some of you are kind of on the fence, or you're not sure how to approach it, or you understand it but you don't. So we want to talk about this and clarify some of those things around that topic. And if you are believing that lifting super heavy weights will make you bulky, we want to give you guys a little bit more
peace of mind
and knowledge about it. So what is really happening, and how to use lifting to help you build the body you want, right? So we're going to talk about these things in this video.
We always finish each other's.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Sentences.
I know.
I'm supposed to say sentences.
Oh, sentences.
We finish each other's.
He tends to finish my sentences. So, anyways, normally I just get started and then you just chime in, because I love to talk. And, all right, so does lifting heavy weights makes you bulky, Greg?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's good. It's good. No, it's a good point, because, yes, if you want to be bulky, as a man or as a woman, you have to lift heavy weights. So it is true that, that's the way to go if you want to become bulky and bigger and grow muscles.
That's just one part of the equation.
Yeah.
You have to lift heavier.
Yeah. Okay. You got to get stronger. But here's the deal. First of all, I want to clarify something. Because we work with a lot of women, as I said earlier, that are trying to transform their body in a very positive way. And a lot of times what they envision for themselves is having a toned look body, right? They want to have nice definition in the arms, flat stomach, nice legs, definition, not too much, nice curves, but especially toned and nice looking, right? So, which I love. I think it's beautiful that we want to look and take care of our body like it's a temple. But here's a misconception. Here's a problem. A lot of women think that they will achieve those kinds of bodies going out and doing tons of cardio and or doing yoga or dancing or Zumba and things like that. And Let's just clarify.
What's that?
Spinning class?
No, the where you hold the thing and you go like this.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
What's it called?
or buying these like quick
like
fixes on TV or whatever.
Shake weight or something.
Yeah, the shake weight.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
That
is.
was fun.
Shakeology, all that stuff, whatever. So really, the reality is, a toned look body is basically having more lean muscle mass and less body fat. Okay, that's the only way. Okay, so in order to do that, you need to build lean muscle mass, and lean muscle mass is basically your muscles, and in order to build muscles you need to go lift some weights. You need to get stronger in the gym, right? And it's not by lifting 3 pounds weights, 5 pound weights that you're going to get there, although you might have to start there if this is a starting point for you if you've never lifted before. But the idea is you need to be progressing, because if you're not progressing, you're not changing, right? So you need to challenge your body. You need to get stronger and you're older to change it, because if you don't challenge it, you don't change it. So lifting heavy weights, and when we say heavy weights, we mean heavy for you, right? Heavy in a way of it's challenging your body and you're slowly progressing as you go through this process, and you're constantly progressing. You don't want to like lifting heavy, like 5 pound weights for the whole year, right? So then you're not progressing. So that's kind of like the idea behind that. So why is it
You need an oxygen mask.
no, I was just thinking which direction I was going to take next, but a lot of women, what do you say that?
It sounded like you came up for air.
No, I was just breathing, taking my time, I was reflecting. But yeah, a lot of women think like lifting heavy will get them big. Well, first of all, building lean muscle mass takes time. Okay, let's just clarify that. For a lot of the people,
It takes time and effort and consistency, which
and a lot of calories and sometimes supplements and lots of sleep and so forth, right? So if you know people that are like, if you know people in your surroundings that are very, muscular, they go to the gym, they're regulars at the gym, they've been training. And for a lot of them, it took a couple years to build to that level, unless they have a really good genetics or they've been doing sports already that promotes healthy muscle gain. But generally speaking, if someone has not been doing anything for their bodies, and it takes time, it takes a pretty long time to build it. So I just want to clarify this, because women think like overnight, like if they start lifting weights after 2-3 weeks, they'll start getting bulky. It takes way like I've been trying to do this, like increase the size of some of my body parts, and it takes time. You have to be patient. Like I have to be super consistent in the gym and train a lot and train heavy, and also lower reps and all of that. So there are different techniques of training that will allow for more muscle mass, and there are ones that won't allow for as much muscle mass. So there's also technique, like training techniques. Well, we won't go too much in details right now, but we just wanted to clarify that. Don't be so afraid of that, because it would take a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of consistency in your training, a whole lot of food, and sometimes years to get to that level of getting so bulky, especially for women, because we do not have the same hormonal panel that men have. We don't have as much testosterone, which helps muscle growth and all that. So we're not designed.
it also takes a whole lot of not paying attention or looking at yourself for a long time.
What do you mean?
Well, if you can see yourself, you can see how you're developing. So it's not like you just wake up one day and like you worked out for a week and then all of a sudden you sprouted these big bulky muscles.
Yeah.
If you can look at yourself in the mirror, you can see how you're progressing, and then you can make decisions on how you can go about either emphasizing some muscles or not emphasizing some muscles that might develop quicker than others. So
Yeah. So that's a good point. But then I was just talking about like how it's important not to worry so much about getting so big so fast, because it really just doesn't happen unless you have, like I said, an extremely amazing genetic, and you're putting all of your efforts into it, like nutrition, sleep, recovery, training, all of that, and it requires a lot of discipline. And so for most women,
or if you're on the German swim team for the Olympics in the 70s,
something like that. But anyhow, so don't get so worried about that. Another thing too is let's talk about the other side of the equation, because this conversation is not just for women, it's for men too, because it's already hard for men to build lean muscle mass. So imagine how hard it is for a woman to build lean muscle mass, because men already have an advantage, a hormonal advantage, right? They're already built.
We are equal.
We are balanced.
We are equal.
Okay. Of course, I have more lean muscle mass than Greg has, so this is different conversation. We should have a red couch about that.
What?
Flexing.
Flexing. The flexing challenge. If we get over 5 likes on this video.
Over 5 likes.
I wanted to put a hard number there. I didn't want something easy.
5,000.
If we get at least
Don't shortcut yourself.
if we get at least 100 likes on this video, we will have opposing
Challenge?
flexing contest challenge between
All
Melissa
right.
and myself.
I know my bunda is bigger, so I win. You can win the bicep game. I'll catch up to you at some point.
Everything but the bunda. She got. There you go.
All right, guys. So we love to have fun, so don't mind our
This is very
funny
serious.
jokes.
This is not.
This
fun.
is a serious topic. So here's what we see. One common mistake that we see with women, right? So because they are afraid to be bulky, and also because they lack the education and the information, and also because they are intimidated by the gym, they tend to just go ahead and do cardio because thinking cardio will help them lose fat, get thinner.
I'm on the elliptical.
Yeah.
This sucks.
And get the body that they want. And a lot of times the body that women really want, when I ask them specifically how they describe it, is a toned look body. And it's not a skinny, fat look like body, right? Unless this is what you want, then go ahead and do cardio. Now, we're not going to talk about the health components of that because that's another story. And when we say cardio, we mean like doing tons, like a whole lot of too much cardio, right? Constantly going to the gym and doing an hour cardio.
Stepper.
Spinning class, even like all these training techniques like HIIT and all that stuff where like you're lifting weights but you're constantly doing cardio, like it's like non-stop, it's super high intensity, so there's a whole lot of cardio within the sessions and it lasts forever. It's extremely stressful for the body. So here's the problem with these types of movement or exercise, right? Cardio is not going to give you that toned look body. It's not specific. Right? Cardio, for a lot of people, they do it because they notice that once they get on the treadmill or an elliptical for a long period of time, after a while, they lose weight on the scale. So the pounds drop. Right? So then they're thinking, oh, it's working, I'm getting like slimmer. Well, here's the problem.
Here's the problemo.
You're losing more than just fat when you're doing this way. Because really what you're doing is you're increasing stress hormones, and you're forcing the body to break down itself, break down its tissue, and you are also losing lean muscle mass, which means you're losing muscle mass as well.
Which is very important.
Yeah.
In the long-term game here, because when you lose muscle, it's
it makes it harder to burn fat, because more muscle mass is what allows you to burn fat at rest, especially also. Which what we want, right? We don't want to be overworking constantly or depending on going to the gym 5, 6 times, 7 days a week in order to lose the weight that we want, and keep doing this constantly and having to do more constantly because we're just pushing your body down, and we got to keep eating less and doing more cardio to maintain a healthy weight that we think is healthy for us, or the silhouette that we want. We're telling you there's a way better way. A much better way.
There's a way better way.
There's a way better way to do so. So lifting weight in the gym will allow you to build more lean muscle mass. If you do it right, in the right way, with the right assistance and guidance, if you don't know how to do it. By building lean muscle mass, not only you're going to develop your body, but create that toned look and that firm look in your muscles, you're also going to allow for more burning fat effect, during your rest and recovery periods, right? Because lean muscle mass helps you burn fat while you're resting. So while you might seem you're not burning as much calories during the cardio, and this is very individual because some people work really hard in the gym, so that really depends on the person. Don't get fooled.
What?
Well, by the fact that sometimes it looks like you're not working as much or sweating, or people think like when they're not sweating they're not burning, right? And it's not how it works really. So what we want you to think of like building your body, going in a gym, lifting heavy weights that challenges your body, that pushes that threshold of strength, so you can increase lean muscle mass. So
relative to your capacity.
Yeah, your capacity, and in a safe way. And of course, there's a lot of training techniques, but right now we're just talking like general way, like building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat. This might take a little bit more time because sometimes cardio for a lot of people is kind of a quick fix. Get on treadmill for 2 weeks every single day, and then you notice the scale goes down. Well, this is a very vicious cycle, because what happens is the minute you stop, you gain the weight back on, and a lot of times you gain more weight because doing too much endurance exercise and too much of those very high stressful type of exercise that increases stress hormones will also reduce your metabolism, right? So you are also spending less energy after that. So it forces the body to adapt to the demand. Yeah. While lifting weights will help you increase metabolism. So it's the total opposite. So it's kind of like the easy route. It's easy route in the sense of you don't have to kill yourself. You just have to do it in a balanced, consistent way, right? You have to train 3 times a week, 4 times depending on your goals, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, sometimes up to an hour. It depends on your state of health and where you're at. But
how much you talk.
How much you're talking, the intensity, the movement and exercise that you're doing. But really, the idea is lifting heavy weights will get you to that level, and you don't have to train every single day, and you don't have to have tons of cardio. Or any. We don't do zero. Like, we do zero cardio besides the dancing and a lot of the talking.
We recommend walk, but we don't really consider that cardio. Like
No.
dancing, having fun, going to the park, walking your dog, or just walking. Those are, don't look at that. It's not exercise. It's effective and helpful, but it's not
working
something.
in.
Yeah. It's just what it is. Yeah.
Well, when we mean cardio, we mean like, okay, going to like a 60-minute spinning class where you're like, you're just like sweating your life out, or you're on the treadmill running, or elliptical, or Stairmaster and all that stuff. Now, it's not that we're against these exercises or anything. It's that we're just telling you, like, if your goal is to build a toned look body, there's a much better way, and there's a more sustainable way. Yeah, way better way. I love that. I'm gonna have to save this one. So, and in fact, it will not give you that toned look body. So just wanted to clarify that. It's also very stressful for the body and increases stress, which will also disrupt your eating habits. And you probably notice that when you're doing tons of cardio, you tend to crave more carbohydrates because your cortisol levels are higher. It might disrupt your sleep. It might just makes you more stressed out overall. And anyways, this whole shebang. Right? So we don't recommend that. What we recommend is lifting weights. All right. So with that being said, and also just want to mention, lifting weights is not just for the look, right? But for a lot of people, it will give them
90%
the added benefits of
being
stronger, being more mobile, being more able, being able to lift stuff, being more independent.
Playing with your kids.
Yeah. For a lot of people, it's like simple tasks like carrying stuff is like they struggle with this. When you're working in a gym and you get stronger, you're more able.
Carrying your lover to the bedroom.
Yeah. Such things. Beautiful. It's Valentine's Day too.
When is that?
Why you think it's in February.
Well, it's January.
Yeah, I know.
Live in the moment.
Okay. So, Greg, what makes people bulky? Really bulky?
Well,
what really does that?
I want to just say before we get into that, a little public service announcement.
Oh boy.
For the person in Kenmar who works out and leaves their weights.
Oh jeez.
I'm gonna find you. And when I find you, I'm gonna feed you some PUFAs.
Oh my gosh.
And they're only 30 pounds. You can put that back easily. 30
People don't
pounds.
put their weights back.
The benches are all over the place. This is, it's serious stuff. And
that gets Greg agitated.
The Kenmar on Shady. I know where you are. I'll find you.
All there are cameras in the gym. We can just check. All right, guys. That was a parenthesis. Sorry. If you're not familiar,
Goosefraba.
Our gym is in the Kenmar.
Goosefraba.
You feel better?
Yes.
Good. Now let it out. Talk to us about what makes people bulky. What's actually making people look the way you don't want to look.
And for real though, I want to say though on this topic, it's really kind of like the person's interpretation of what bulky is.
Oh yeah.
Like, she could think bulky means one like looks a certain way, and then I could think bulky looks a certain way, and then someone could think bulky looks a certain way. Because women, they might think Melissa's bulky. Like she's too muscular. Where someone else might, so
it's
that
relative.
So that needs to be addressed first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, find what it means to you. Define it. But really define what you want to look like, what you like, your type and all of that. Not based on what you think people want you to look or anything. What feels right to you. Yeah. So when it comes to getting bulky, or I guess getting bigger, right? What makes you gain weight?
Gain weight. Whatever you were doing before you come and see us. That's what's making you bulky. So usually it's
common mistakes.
It's overeating calories. So eating more than, in general, eating more than you burn, basically.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, because, based on your metabolism, we all have a different threshold in terms of calories. Really, what happens a lot is that, especially for people that are trying to lose weight, right, they feel that they're a little too big and they want to lose weight. And then losing weight, this is what people are using. Here we talk about losing body fat, not losing weight, because weight is a totally different story, because you can be losing everything.
Gaining muscle.
But for people that, call it losing weight, and they feel a little too big, what they tend to do is that they'll go on a diet or they'll restrict calories, right? They'll eat less because they think eating less, smaller portions. We hear a lot of that. Well, I'm just eating smaller portion. Or they're cutting out sugar, or they're cutting out anything. Yeah. And what happens is, because they're not eating enough for the demands on the body, they're putting the body in constant state of stress, which increase stress hormones, which increase the catabolic effect in the body, right? Which means that you're just basically breaking down more muscle mass, all the stuff, the good stuff that you actually need, but you're also breaking down, organ density and all the bone density and all that stuff.
And here's the catch.
Here's the catch.
That's a huge form of stress. So you're adding that stress on top of stress from all your other areas of life. So whether it's work, your emotional, your relationship, your physical, whatever stress, your training becomes a stressor. So under eating is a huge stressor. So it just adds on top of the stress, and then it gives you more problems. Yeah,
and a lot of times people will go and exercise on top of that, right? Because they really want to lose weight. So they're like, I'll go on a diet and then I'll go do tons of cardio. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they wake up, they don't eat breakfast, they rush out the door, they get their coffee, they go to work that they don't like, their working is very stressful, and then they go home, maybe they have like a quick apple or something, and then they go to the gym, they do cardio. All that is stressful, especially. So. And
at the end of the day, they have 900 to 1,200 calories, right, eaten. And here's what happened a lot of times is these people, and if you see this a lot with women, it's like, well, I don't know why I'm gaining weight. I'm not eating that much. And it's like, well, that's the reason why you're gaining weight. Because then eventually you'll just go and binge eat, right? So on Friday you'll just go out with friends and then you'll eat the whole pizza. Or, you'll...
It's not just that day. It's like the accumulative of the week. And
it's
then
the fact that you restrict and you undereat and you're under stress and then you're overeating on some days. And
take in a whole bunch.
It's called binge eating, right? So, and people think like, oh, it's just I have this problem and it a lot of times, and then we're not discarding any kind of emotional or mental like issues that can be arising, but from that perspective, I mean, we work with clients that we're dealing with binge eating issues, and a lot of times it's just balancing their calories, because if you eat enough throughout the week, your body's not going to push you overboard to binge eat. You're not going to crave all these things. You're just going to feel balanced and feel satisfied. So you won't feel the need and the urge. This is your body talking to you like, I need freaking calories. You've been starving me. Binge eating is often, most of the time, is related to that. So, and binge eating, so under eating and then binge eating, under eating, binge eating, which is very unbalanced, will cause people to gain weight. It's extremely stressful for the body, and you won't feel good, right? So you'll have trouble sleeping. You might have some sort of like symptoms with, you might get headaches, or you might get mood swings. You might have trouble with hormones, PMS, sex drive, your skin, your hair, your nails, things like that. When you start seeing things that are just not working right on your body, like these are all signals that your body's telling you whatever you're doing is not working, and you need to nourish me properly, and you need to give me proper rest. And sometimes we have to take people off of exercise, or at least, heavy loaded exercise, right? Just lighter movement, in order to help the body reduce the stress, increase their food intake, focus on their sleep, and then they can start moving more and gain from the training, right? Think about it. It's like, you're not going to go drive your car if there's no gas in the tank. You got to fill in the tank first, right? So nutrition is often not perceived that way, and I think it's very important to change that perception, right? Eat in order to fuel your body and nourish your cells, and nourish your muscles, and nourishing your soul. And then, eat things that are delicious, that make you happy also. And if you find yourself that only fast food or bad food makes you happy, then come and talk to us. We'll explain you what that means, okay? Because we hear that a lot too. It's like, but I just love pizza so much, and I love all these things, and it's like, it's not that it's wrong necessarily, but there's reasons behind all of that, and we can help you with this. And a lot of times it's just not having a good routine with nutrition. So, all right. So, one thing we want to specify also is that yes, you can be more bulky, because if you train specifically a certain muscle group because you want it to get bigger, right? Like for example, right now I'm working on more my legs. So I'm focusing a lot in my training on adding more weight into my legs. I'm purposely doing this. It's taking time. You just have to be consistent. If you don't want this to happen, then you might want to emphasize different body parts. So, it's not black and white, guys. Sometimes you just have to adjust and customize your training to where you want to put emphasis in your body, right? So think of it of an art form. You just want to focus on certain areas you want to develop, and focus a little less on the areas that you don't want to overdevelop. So that's all. I mean, think of it this way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to add something to that?
Just reiterating and geminating, repeating.
Synonyms.
Yes. If you take progress, like photographs or measurements, and you use your eyes, like I said before in the earlier part of this video, you can see how your muscles are shaping up and developing. So you can take the necessary precautions of, okay, my legs or my arms or whatever it is, they're becoming how I want them to become. Mm-hmm. So I don't really need to not remove everything completely, but I don't need to focus on them so much. I can focus on other areas I want to address.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like we said, you don't just wake up one day and sprout big bulky muscles everywhere. You can
nobody has big bones.
Yeah, there's no. I have a picture for that.
I know.
Coming up, yeah,
Oh
but
my
no,
it's
you're
not
not big.
It's not your build.
Yeah, and what takes up less space is having less fat and more muscle. So muscle.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, is because we finish each other's.
Sentences.
It weighs the same, but it takes up less space. It's more dense. So while fat could be like this much, the same weight of a muscle takes up this much. That's why the weight on the scale remains the same, but you're losing inches and your shape is different.
That's why you should not only use the scale as a way to measure your progress, right? Because I'm heavy on the scale, but it's not about how much I weigh on the scale. It's about how I look or how I feel in my body. So make sure that you take... The pictures are helpful because it's more of a visual. The scale can kind of like trick people into thinking they're gaining weight. But when you're gaining weight, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you're gaining lean muscle mass. Which
you're losing fat and you're gaining muscle.
Yes, so it doesn't mean you're not losing body fat. So take your body fat too and your measurements and all of that. So data is super important, right? The more data, the better. But to piggyback with what he was saying in regard to fat, a lot of times when people are complaining about not losing the weight or feeling too bulky or feeling like, oh, I'm training but I still feel like my arms are so big, well, it's 99% of the time it's just too much fat still. And the way to lose more body fat is to stay consistent with the strength training and adjust your nutrition and your stress, which a big part of it is sleep and recovery, right? So if you want to lose body fat, you need to start getting really serious about how you're fueling your body and how you're regulating your blood sugar and how you're regulating your stress and how much sleep you're getting and which hours you're getting your sleep, and is it restful sleep? Are you pushing yourself constantly? Because if you're a busy person, an overwhelmed person, and always stressed out and always go and focus on to-do lists, well, maybe that's a sign that you might be doing a little bit too much and you might need to slow down. And I know it's not easy because I've been there and I know how it feels, and when people tell you to slow down when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's really frustrating. But there is a way, and I promise you, if you need help with this, there's people that can help you. We can help you with that. We work with tons of women that when they come here, they are overwhelmed, exhausted, tired, and they're constantly busy.
And they don't like the body that they have.
And they don't love the body that they have. They want it to change, and then they're trying to force the change on top of that, and it's just not helping, right? So the whole equation is like overstressed and overwhelmed and all of that. So what we need to do is to start creating space for prioritizing, creating space for self-care, creating space for nourishing your body and giving back to your body. Because a lot of times when people gain weight, it's really just because they haven't been in tune with their bodies and they haven't been listening to their bodies. They've forgotten how it feels. They've been listening to external stuff as opposed to internal cues. So it's really just it goes back to reconnecting with yourself, getting the proper information, start implementing and being consistent with the process, and be patient with yourself, because it's not a linear process. You're not going to start losing weight and getting toned like overnight, and it's also not going to happen. Oh, there we go again.
I thought I did enough movement.
No, we
I
have
was
to
very-
move in this zone.
I was very,
Yeah, and you have to do it over the course of, months, and for some people sometimes years. We're not here to sell, quick fix approaches, guys. Like, really honestly, if you've been hearing this, you're probably tired of it right by now. I hope so, if you're watching this video.
and you probably realize that it doesn't work.
It just doesn't serve you. And if you do get temporary results with quick fixes, it's not sustainable, and it's something that may most of the times actually damage your metabolism in your body and your health, right? So think about it this way. Play the long game. Because the idea is you might want to become that healthy, fit person, right? You want to develop a health and a body that you love. In order to do this, you need to become that person. So it needs to be part of who you are. It needs to become part of your lifestyle. It's not like, oh, I'll go to the gym for 12 months and I'll reach my goals, and then I'll just stop going to the gym. No. I mean, it has to become a part of who you are. So just treat it as a lifestyle. Treat it and go small. Take baby steps. Don't overdo it, because when you stress yourself in that process and you're overdoing it, it's causing more stress, right? And right here, what we're trying to do at first is reduce the stress on the body so you can allow your body to do what it's supposed to do, and it's being healthy, right? Because when you're super healthy, you don't have weight issues, okay? I hope this makes sense. So if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about what we do and how we can help you, we have tons of other videos. You can check out the other videos that we've recorded. We have different topics that we talk about. So sometimes we like to demystify some myths, and then sometimes we like to demystify. Debunk. Sometimes we like to talk about tips in nutrition, tips and training, tips and mindset, different things like that. We have lots of content. We have an amazing community on Facebook, the RISE community, RYS, Raise Your Standards. And if you want to join us, I mean, it's a free community. Just jump on there. Yeah. We always post some great stuff. There's great people in this community. It's nice to be surrounded by people that are supportive of what you're trying to accomplish, that are positive. And we'll be helping you also educating yourself on the topic, because a lot of times people fail to reach their goals because they just don't have the proper information. They haven't been guided. So don't feel bad, but it's always time to learn and grow and do the right thing.
Learn and grow and not get bulky.
Not give up. Not get bulky. Yeah, so don't be afraid to get bulky. It's actually lifting heavy weights or lifting, challenging amount of weight based on your strength.
And most women, they carry heavier grocery bags than the weights they use.
Oh, I love that you say that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so yes, this is a good parenthesis, just because a lot of times women in the gym, they'll be afraid to lift like 10 pounds, and then their kids are like 30 pounds, and they keep lifting their kids around. Their toddlers are 30 pounds, or they're more than that. They're like 60 pounds. They lift their kids around, and they lift all these grocery bags, and they move things around their house, and they come in the gym, they're like, oh no, I don't want to take the 10 pounds. I'm like, it's all perception, guys, right? So don't get in your own way, because we are the only people that really limit ourselves. So just be careful with that. Sometimes just question your thought process when you doubt yourself or your capacity, because you are way stronger than you think. You're way more capable than you think, and there's not a whole lot that you can't do if you really put your mind to it. So I hope this was encouraging.
I hope so.
All right, so lifting heavy weights won't make you bulky unless you really want to, and you'll eat tons of calories, train consistently, and it will take years. But if that's not the goal and the outcome, it won't happen like this, so don't be so afraid. Anything else we should touch on?
Is there any other things that need addressed?
I mean, we covered, most of that, like the general, guidelines in regard to that, and just at least so you guys understand where we're coming from. If you guys have any questions on that topic, let us know. If you're struggling with your training, your goals and all of that, talk to us. There's way more into the process of getting healthier and building a body than just going to the gym and nutrition. We have to do the inner work. There's a lot of mindset, a lot of connecting with self and all that stuff that needs to happen, but that's a conversation for another time. But just keep in mind that don't be afraid of that, because this is actually the one thing that will give you that toned body. that you're trying to develop. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, pass this on to a friend who thinks that weightlifting will make them bulky.
Yeah, and come see us. We'll show you the way. We'll help you out.
We'll show you the way.
All right, guys. So I hope you have a good day, and that is it for us for today. If you have any ideas of topics you would like for us to cover, or any questions,
we are open for suggestions.
You can also email us if you'd like to message us in private. Rise Conscious Fitness, RYS Conscious Fitness at Gmail. And then you can also message us privately on Facebook. We are also available on Instagram and on YouTube, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
I'll respond to you.
Stay delicious.